What's going on? It's been a couple of weeks since I uploaded. I was away at work. It's hard for me to be consistent with these videos. I noticed my last video my microphone sounded horrible, so I picked up this new mic. I'm going to take this up to work with me, and then I'm going to try to keep the weekly uploads every Friday. This video, we're just going to go over a trade I took last week, and you saw the thumbnail, and we're going to go over what's going on with my account. So stick around, and we'll get to see some blood. All right, so the trade I took on NAS on Friday was this guy right here. Here we are, Thursday evening. At 5 o'clock, we have this massive gap, this 4-hour gap created. And, this looks like a great place to either sell into or buy from. So my train of thought here was we have this gap being respected up here. Price couldn't push into it, came up again, couldn't push into it, and now it's breaking down. So what I really wanted to see was price come, buy from here, and sell it up here. This is a great move for my setup, Could sweep the liquidity down here, push up, creates a gap, wait for entry in the new gap, and then buy and hold. 4-hour looked really good for this. 1 hour, we have the better breakdown of the gap that was created. We have all this liquidity building up, ready for price to come sweep it into the gap and push up. We can see the gap, the buy side gap up here holding up really nicely. And yeah, things are looking really good for this trade. And down on the 15-minute, again, liquidity gap just gets bigger and bigger. I entered NAS on the 15-minute, or on the 3-minute. So we're going to play this out on the Friday morning that I entered this trade. And you can see right here at 9:30, 9:45, we have exactly the push that we'd want to see. This beautiful tap into my zone, a strong move up. Going down on the 5-minute, we have a fake out, a breakdown, sweep of liquidity with this candle here, and then a strong push up. The 3-minute was where I entered this. Looks even better right here. So this was my entry, waiting for price to come back down to here. We can see that, this is the exact reversal pattern that I want to enter on. I'm not mad or sad about this. This is my strategy right here. Continuing on. So I get my entry right here. Perfect. I'm tapped in, expecting price to continue up, especially on a Friday. I tend to see that the market wants to finish a little stronger. So I'm fully expecting to probably at least take New York high with this. If I'm super lucky, hold this for a holy grail for a 1 to 7 before the market closes. But not being unrealistic, and just I would like to see this take New York high. Continuing, trade starting. It's good. It's rejecting here. I am still expecting this to go up, but unfortunately we get one big candle down and price just continues down from there. This is almost an immediate stop out. I think 1, 2, 3, there's about 3 or 4 candles here until I was stopped out. I wasn't in this too long. Ended up being a loser I lost 0.5% on this. Again, not mad. This is a great setup. I would take it again. It's just probabilities. That's how it is. Had that not worked out how that did work out and I didn't take it, I'd be kicking myself because that's my entry setup. And yeah, as you saw in the thumbnail, this account, it started off really great for me. Unfortunately, it has not been going great for me since about August. A lot of things have happened to my mindset starting in August. The market was really slow. That bled into pretty much October, the market being kind of unpredictable and just wasn't giving me the setups. So I started changing my entry criteria, taking setups that weren't my strategy, um, and just not accepting being out of the market. Um, we can see here at the very start, you always go down your first couple trades, just the way it has to be, it seems. And then it was just immediate increase, which was great. I was 0.5% away from my phase one, or 1.5% away from my phase one being complete right at the beginning of August. And then it was just downhill from there. Um, this is a lot of lack of discipline. This has been a good year for my trading for sure, mentality wise, but it might not be financially or profit wise the year I expected or wanted. Um, but there's growth here. And like the title says, growth isn't linear. And though my profits are down, my growth has developed significantly this year. It 2 years ago, I wouldn't even be able to look at this thing. I would just ignore it and not try to take some lessons from it. But now I'm looking at it and, there's something that I have to change, because a profitable trader doesn't lose this much in a row with a winning strategy. My strategy is good. It was my mentality that was bad this last quarter. And something I really wanted to touch on was right here. I got it pretty much back to break even. I was about 44 bucks away from being break even again. And, I was coming off work, coming off night shift, and I was up for almost 24 hours trying to reset my body. And I traded London, and then I traded New York. And that's one of my rules, is that I don't trade 2 sessions in one day, because too much market exposure for me never ends up well. And that's exactly what happened. I was overtired. There was a setup that I wanted to see in London that didn't happen. So I was expecting for it to happen in New York. And so I took the trade in London, and then I took 2 trades in New York that I lost. So typically I trade once a day if my setup shows up. I traded 3 times while I was overtired and unable to risk appropriately. On that 3rd trade, I over-risked, which is something I haven't done in months, trying to get the 2 losers back from before. So I think it's safe to say I tilted, which is crazy. Well, it's not crazy. I haven't tilted in months. I can't remember the last time I tilted. It was something that used to happen to me so commonly, that I thought that was something in the past, that it wasn't happening anymore. But it just goes to show you, you're never far away from your demons if you let them get into your head. I let my demons get into my head. I tilted, and I paid for it, just like you pay for it every time you do it. So there's some lessons here. I did some reviewing over the weekend. Just kind of sat with myself and the things that I need to change. And, hopefully this week is a better week. Might not be profitably, but as long as I follow my rules and my system, I'm going to have a good week. And, I have process objectives that I need to follow. I'm going to follow them, or follow them to the best of my ability. And, we're gonna get back from this for sure. And I'm really excited for the future, and, to see this red turn back up to, being 1.5% away from passing my phase.